the beauty of timeless vintage rustic garden design with recycled and repurposed materials. Introduction. There is something truly magical about stepping into a rustic vintage garden, where every detail tells a story and every piece feels like it carries history. By using recycled and repurposed materials, you can create a timeless outdoor space that feels both personal and sustainable. Today, let's explore how to design a vintage-inspired garden that radiates charm, creativity, and eco-friendly beauty. The allure of rustic vintage gardens. Rustic vintage garden design isn't about perfection, it's about character. Worn wood, aged metal, and time-worn stone come together to create an aesthetic that feels cozy, natural, and lived in. This style embraces imperfection and finds beauty in the details. Why use recycled materials? Recycled and repurposed materials bring authenticity to your outdoor space. Whether it's an old wooden ladder turned into a plant stand or vintage tin buckets used as planters, these elements give your garden soul while keeping waste out of landfills. Repurposed furniture as garden decor. Old chairs, tables, and even dressers can be transformed into stunning garden features. Imagine a weathered dresser filled with cascading flowers or a vintage chair serving as a unique plant holder. These pieces instantly create a focal point. Vintage containers and planters. Rusty watering cans, enamel basins, or antique barrels can all be used as creative planters. They add an instant sense of nostalgia and charm, while also serving as conversation starters in your garden. Rustic garden paths. Pathways made from reclaimed brick, natural stone, or repurposed would add both function and character. They guide visitors through your garden while enhancing its timeless aesthetic. The beauty of upcycled metal accents. Old gates, iron bed frames, or vintage fences can be repurposed into decorative garden structures. Their aged patina gives them a rustic elegance that complements greenery beautifully. Recycled wood projects. Wood is one of the most versatile materials to repurpose. From raised garden beds made of reclaimed timber to rustic pergolas crafted from salvaged beams, wood can transform any space with warmth and history. creating rustic seating areas. No vintage garden is complete without a cozy seating nook. Repurpose old benches, use reclaimed wood for tables, or mix and match weathered chairs for a casual, welcoming spot to enjoy your garden. Vintage trellises and arbors. Using recycled ironwork or old wooden doors, you can create trellises or arbors that support climbing roses and vines. These structures not only provide beauty but also anchor the rustic theme of your garden. Rustic water features. An old barrel can be transformed into a mini pond, while vintage pitchers or basins can become charming fountains. Adding water features with recycled elements introduces sound, movement, and serenity. Antique finds for whimsy. Flea markets and thrift stores are treasure troves for vintage garden decor. Old lanterns, bird cages, and milk cans can all be integrated into your design, adding delightful surprises throughout your space. Mixing plants with recycled decor, pairing natural greenery with repurposed elements creates balance. Soft blooms spilling over rustic containers or ivy climbing up old gates enhances the feeling of timelessness. Lighting for vintage charm. Repurposed lanterns, mason jar lights, or old chandeliers can be reimagined into outdoor lighting. The warm glow adds to the romantic and nostalgic atmosphere of a rustic garden. The role of textures in rustic design. Mixing rough wood, aged stone, and weathered metal creates depth and visual interest. These textures work together to capture the essence of vintage garden design. Sustainable and stylish. Choosing recycled and repurposed materials is not only beautiful, but also eco-friendly. You're giving new life to old objects while creating a sustainable outdoor sanctuary. Rustic garden focal points. A well-placed vintage wheelbarrow overflowing with flowers or a reclaimed wooden arch can serve as a striking centerpiece. These focal points define your garden's character. Personal touches in vintage design. The best rustic gardens feel personal. Adding family heirlooms, repurposed tools, or items with sentimental value creates a meaningful connection to your outdoor space. Tips for bringing it all together. Blend recycled and repurposed items with natural elements. Stick to a cohesive color palette, incorporate lots of greenery, and let the imperfections shine. A rustic vintage garden thrives on authenticity. Conclusion. A timeless vintage rustic garden is more than just a design choice. It's a way of celebrating history, sustainability, and creativity. By using recycled and repurposed materials, you can craft an outdoor space full of charm and character. If you enjoyed these ideas, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more garden inspiration.